I was born in 1938, and then I came to South Korea when I was 10 years old in 1948, springtime. August 1945, the Second World War ended. Doing that, Korea was divided into two parts,
Right.
North to South. And North Korea became communist, and South Korea became democracy. Then, since uh, I was born in North Korea, at the time my father had business, and then the communist people came to our place. I was born in near the borderline between China and North Korea. Since North Korea became communist, the people who were communists came to our house, our home native place, and then they had a meeting to arrest who could be the first candidate because of the communists. So then my father became the first candidate to be arrested by the communists because he was a businessman. Then whoever wanted to participate in the meeting, who was so close to us, after meeting, this man came to my father, who was in already in bed. He said, tomorrow morning, the people will come to arrest you. Please escape right this moment. So my father got up from the bed and then he just wrapped up for the trip. Tell my mother only, I did not know, even though we were in the same house. And then she left. And then next morning, as our neighbor told us, the people came and then they will search my father where he was. Then my mother told them she did not know because in Korea, the structure of the house is like a harmonica, one line straight. So
Mm.
we, children, mother slept first room right next to kitchen, and all the way the last room, my father slept alone. So that way, we could explain that we did not know where, when he came, he went out. So then the people could not catch my father. And then right after that, they put the red sticker in our house, except daily utensils. So all our house property was already occupied by the communists. So
Wow.
since then, the security police was surrounded our house, knowing and not knowing. And then my mother, uh, at the time we had about 10 family members. Uh, I had two older brothers and a younger brother myself, and sister and brother-in-law, and my nephew. So anyhow, secretly among the family members, we did not know who was what talking because the secret police was watching us. So we divided into six groups. Then the oldest brother, and then younger brother, separately escaped to South Korea. So we did not know, even though we slept in the one house. Next morning, my brother disappeared, and we even could not ask comfortably, where is my brother? Something like that. Uh, Everybody watched, very secretly in the house. So doing that, that was began 1946, January. My father escaped to South Korea. After he left the house, we didn't know where he was. No way to know. No telephone, no letter. You know, just we don't know he was dead or alive. Just he was gone. So
Wow.
during those 3 years, my mother and I was 10 years old, and 2 years younger than I was my younger brother. The last group, we escaped to South Korea. Since I told you I was born in near the borderline between China and Korea, but coming to South Korea, where now Kim Jong-un lives in Pyongyang, that city from my home is far distance. But my mother arranged, so we came over there, and thankfully, who used to be our close neighbor lived in the name of the city is Pyongyang. So Pyongyang, we stayed over there, and then my mother got the instruction how to escape from Pyongyang to South Korea. At the time, we used to call 38 parallels. So near to that place, it takes time too, but all arranged by my mother, which I did not know, and I could not know because they did not talk, openly. Then, whenever my mother said go, come, then I just had to follow whatever she said. Then the place near the 38 parallel that was called Haeju. Still I think on the map still is marked Haeju. Over there, one day, the sundown, my mother told me and my brother, tonight we will walk all night long to cross 38 parallel. Doing that, no talk, no cough, no asking, keep going. And then, not to lose, I have to hold my mother's skirt because if we lose it, the North Korean army will arrest us, they will shoot us, we will be killed. Then at sundown, she said, one man will come to take us to the South Korea. So no question, nothing, just follow my mother. And then, just 10 to 15 steps away, we can see, it's hard to see the things and around that time because we didn't have a watch either. Then the man showed up, and then I just hold my mother, and then my younger brother was too young to walk all night long, so this man carried my brother on his back. So my mother had luggage on her head, and then I hold my mother's skirt and started all night long. Then we don't know how long we went, but I touched some rope. Then this man just by hand, by arms, stopped. So we stopped over there for a while. And then she grabbed us, of course, not talking. Then we just followed. And then we don't know how much we walked, but for a while, all night long, walked. And then the man said, this is the place he had to stop and he had to go back to North Korea. So over there, what I could see, still I remember clearly, just, the rice pad at the time was in March, during the March, I don't know exactly, but the snow, the spot here and there, and water was there. But looked like a sea because, at the nighttime. But anyhow, he gave instruction to my mother where to go, how long. Then my mother gave him money. I don't know how much. That was all grown up things. Then he returned. I don't know how he went, but as he told my mother, we followed through. And then one tall American army with helmet, and then Korean army said that I don't remember, the American man said something, but South Korean army also say that means come on, welcome you, that kind of things. And then he asked my mother where we are from. So then my mother told him that where we are from. And then the American man, I mean the army and the Korean army led us the American big tent. Then there were so many Korean refugees who were there already. And then they just welcomed us because we were not killed during the nighttime. So they were so glad. And everybody was a stranger, but all of a sudden, everybody looks like we were family because we were in all same situation. So we did not know at the time where was my father was dead and alive. My oldest brother was alive or dead. We did not know, no way to know. So we are all in one tent and then slept body to body. And then I don't know, I think we spent over there several days. And then by train, we came to Seoul where is Seoul City in South Korea.
Yeah.
So then after we came to South Korea, I did not know how my mother, father uh, connected, but we all met in refugee in Seoul City for the North Korean refugees. So I was one of them Korean refugees.
It's obvious from what you're describing that, I mean, your family fled North Korea because
Right.
your father was threatened. But do you remember as a child, I mean, was there just a different feeling when the communists took over in North Korea? Was there kind of an atmosphere of fear
Sure, sure.
or an atmosphere of intimidation
Yes,
that
yes,
came
yes,
into
yes.
play?
I was third grade at the time. So at the school, every day they had a meeting saying that Kim Il-sung lives long. And at the time, the president of South Korea was Lee Seung-man. Lee Seung-man should be killed. Every day, every morning in the class, we were told. And then not only the meeting, after meeting, they ask us whole student in school come out the city, walking like here says demonstration. And then uh, someone comes up, just like Lee Seung-man should be killed, and Kim Il-sung should live long. And then manse, that means live long, that kind of things. That kind of activity every day was in school. At home, we were not talk loudly and get the crowd because the secret police was watching us. And then my mother every morning said, don't answer any question if asked about your father. Just say, I don't know. They were every morning just nailing into my ear. And then I was very uncomfortable to play with friends because I was active. So I was president in the class. And then I was the one who led the meeting, everything. But not telling family things was not easy in that age. So that was very, very uncomfortable.
Hmm. And I know that, in Pyongyang, for example, there were a lot of churches. Do you remember were the churches closed down?
Oh,
Did
sure. Oh, that's a
they
good question.
shut the church?
So after Second World War, no more church.
Right.
No more church.
And so so you noticed at school, it sounds like at school, you may still be learning things, but it also sounds like at school there's a lot more politics now. It's much more
Yes,
political.
yes. So focus on Kim Il Sung, and then
I'm the
they,
founder of North Korea.
yes, Kim Il Sung, and then what they call rather than call aunt and brother, they call 동무. That means I used to
Comrade or
yes, comrade. So regardless, uncle, aunt, sister, we should call. They try to change the language. That was the education at the school.
Hmm.
And then same uniforms.
Oh, so the way you have to dress to go to school changes?
Right, right. Because they put it on the red color on the scarf.
And it was a very rapid change.
Oh yes, by force. If if we are not follow, if I was not follow that, I could not be there. And they don't want nothing, just take it away.
How did your family settle in? Did your family members find work and do jobs there in South Korea? How did your family settle into life in South Korea?
Oh, I think I told you at the beginning, my father was a businessman, so we lived in, that's why he was first candidate uh, in the town where I lived, because his business was a successful, big business.
And therefore he was an enemy of the communists.
Right. So what they're saying is private property is not yours anymore. That's why they uh, take, our house, everything, factory, everything. So we lived very, very comfortable conditions.
In South Korea.
Yeah, until the world,
Oh,
Second
oh,
World
oh,
War
oh,
finished.
oh, you had a comfortable life in North Korea until the communists took everything,
Right, right.
and then your father
You
fled.
got it. You got it.
So did he establish a business in South Korea?
You mean my father?
Mhm.
He died during the war.
Oh, he died during the
Yeah.
war. Did you find your father?
Oh, yes. So then you got it. We crossed over 38 parallel over, and then my mother and my younger brother myself took train. By train, we came to Seoul City. And I don't know how, that's what I told you. I don't know how we connected, but we were assigned to live in the house where Japanese used to live
Mm, mhm.
because the Japanese left, at the time.
Right. Korea had been a Japanese colony.
Right, right. So all North Korean refugees lived in the house where Japanese used to live because there was no any extra houses. They didn't prepare anything, could not because this is all of a sudden, unexpected things happened. So then, while I was in the refugee camp, my father showed up. I don't know how. But then my oldest brother showed up too. So I don't know that I tried to remember, but I could not recollect at all. So then the we lived in one house, six families of Korean refugees. Can you imagine how crowded it would be? So my mother used to did one room, six families of my father, my mother, myself, my younger brother, two and elder brother. Over there, six families lived together day and night, all together, sleep same way, eating, working, and then no kitchen. So my father made a temporary kitchen outside, and then rain and sun, we had to cook outside. So my mother used to say, because of Kim Il Sung, we lost everything, and I'm cooking this way. And then what is this? This is the really democrat. She did not know what it is. She didn't get any education. So, but I mean, that's what we used to say. If we go to South Korea, we will live better condition. But this is all we have now. That's what she was complaining every day, every meal. So then. Anyhow, over there, we had no money. Whatever we brought the money from North Korea is all spent. So my father find out to make some the um, making match boxes at home.
Yeah.
Then my father arranged me to go to some factory to work. Then when I went over there, I cried all day long because in that age, my living conditions upside down. Sky came to earth, earth came to sky. I could not take it. I couldn't understand what was communism, what was the democracy, why we had to, I was just told simply when we go to Seoul, South Korea, we will live comfortably. That's all I had, but this living condition was totally opposite. So all day long, I was crying, and then the owner of the factory told my father I could not work over there because rather than working all day long, cry, so he could not stand with me. So I was fired after one day. And then at home, my father brought the matchbox which made already to factory, and then all five family, my elder brother, younger brother, myself, my mother at home made the matchbox. So that's the way we tried to. And then we had rations from government as a refugee. So at the time I saw the first time dried milk, dried eggs, and then it came 1950. 2 years later, the Korean War, 1950, June 25th. And then in the morning, uh, we could hear some sound gun toward North Korea from Seoul City. And then at the time, we didn't have telephone, some of them had a radio, but we didn't have a radio because we could not afford that. But by rumor, North Korean came to South Korea. Could not believe. Can you imagine the way we crossed the 38 parallel? Now the North Korean armies come to Seoul, South Korea. Look like someone says at night it is a daytime, and even the daytime someone says like it's night. Could not believe at all. But it took 3 days, and then the North Korean flag was held up at the Blue House where Korean and South Korean president used to live. Can you imagine on that day, the where I lived, my whole family, when we look at the flag at the Blue House, we all cried and we all died. We avoid the flag. How can we see the flag in Seoul again? Where we can go? Why? What happened? So at that time, I said, if God is here, how can things happen this way? I don't know how long we cried. We all cried to looking at the flag at the Blue House.
At the North, North Korea invaded, and so you're saying
Right,
now
right. In three
the flag
days,
of North Korea is
yes,
flying over
yes.
the Blue House and flying over Seoul.
Then my father was uh, enough to have a wisdom. He said he said he was strong Christian. We just pray. Our accent shows already we are North Korean refugee. That's the way people know right away. And we are Christians. We are just 100% candidate to be killed by the North Korean army. So my father and elder brother tried to avoid, anywhere. I cannot recall anywhere, but not showing during the daytime. And then at nighttime we got together. And then my father said, we cannot stay in this house because all Korean refugees over there. So the North Korean army was happy to, arrest us. So my father suggest to move to church where he used to attend, several blocks away from where we used to live it. My oldest brother was already a policeman in South Korea, and then he married in North Korea, and his wife, during before the Korean War burst, they visited us. Then my oldest brother, since he was policeman, he had to leave the house, and then he left his wife into our house because during the war we had to get together. Anyhow, we moved to church house, include my sister-in-law, and my sister-in-law died over there during the war. She could not eat. She just dehydrated and she died.
And
And
that's just because she was in kind of a state of shock because of the war.
right. And then they had a very good relationship between husband and wife. And then she missed him, and then no way to know where he was. And then she could not eat. She starved, not because of her having food of course we didn't have enough food, but I mean we could afford her too, but she refused, and then she died after 1 or 2 weeks later, very skinny and bone, and then she was 27 years old at the time. And then at the church house, my sister-in-law died, and my father carried her body to the north, anywhere near the summit, in the mountain. And then my younger brother shoveled, and then we don't know where it was, and we could not know. And then we, and then, constantly, the guns and the airplane from South Korea, I mean, the America, the Seoul City was a battlefield. All people didn't have enough food, and it's hot. June 25th, war just broke out. So then, after my sister-in-law died, my father suggested we better escape to the countryside. So we all went to countryside, which is called Suwon, just 60 miles, I think, in American way, by car 1 hour, but walking all day long. So we walked. At the time, everybody was walking, on the road, filled by the people who were refugees from Seoul city.
You're trying to get away from the war and getting away.
Right, from the refugee camp, because all North Korean refugees were in there. So that house should be empty
Right.
because we don't want to be killed by the North Korean army. So that's why we try to avoid that. So we went to southern area from Seoul city, and then by June, the war happened in June, but by September or late August or September, we heard that by rumor, General MacArthur was coming through Incheon Harbor.
Right.
So that time we cried when we saw North Korean flag at the Blue House in June. But at the time, opposite, we were so happy. We all hope came to our the family members, because General MacArthur will win this war.
Wow.
Then I don't know how long it took, but from we escaped to the countryside. We went back to again where we used to live, the Seoul, the North Korean refugees. Then, beginning of January, again, General MacArthur withdrew from North Korea to South Korea, and he had to go back to United States. There was another despair. We lost all hope. So then, as I told you, my oldest brother was police in South Korea. The place was Mokpo, the end of the South Korea, Southern Korea. So then my father said, during the war, we all have to get together in the family. So we tried to escape from Seoul to South Korea, the end of the South Korea.
Did you see the destruction of Seoul? Was much of Seoul destroyed? Did you see that?
Of course, of course. When I went back to Seoul, all the things could not be changed overnight. So that is very visible. And then uh, during that time, in that condition, the American forces, we treated as a helper. So we could not talk. We look different, but we are so glad to have American armies. That I have to tell you.
So you remember seeing the American soldiers?
Right. So of course. So then
Yeah.
even we could not say except the hello. After hello, we could not continue anymore. So even hello, we don't know what it means by hello. And then whoever is close to American army looks very, I am better than you are, that kind of feelings we used to have. So everybody wants to be close to American armies.
Did you witness any fighting? Did you see any fighting taking place?
Oh, sure. When I was in the Seoul, until the North flag was stood up, Blue House, between South Korean army, North Korean army, yes, there was battlefield. Everywhere was a battlefield.